Uncommon is a production by Neuralle, a full-service digital agency. If you want to grow with a premium agency and have the ability to work with Jordan directly, then learn more at neuralle.com/media and request a callback. That's neuralle.com/media.
My name's Jordan Michaelides and I'm the host of Uncommon, a show that asks the why on business, media, current affairs and sport. This Uncommon Corona editions sees us catching up with prior guests that have been on the show to document how they're actually adapting to this once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, I guess you could call it. If you like the episode, of course, please do subscribe on YouTube. Hit that like button. It helps us, of course, with the algorithm. Show notes for all guests, including previous ones, can be found at neuralle.com/uncommon. For audio, if you want to listen on podcasts, just search Uncommon on all your good podcast apps. And for social, to keep up to date behind the scenes, search at @uncommon_show. With that all being said, thanks for tuning in and let's get into the episode. All right, my guest this week, 7th era Northborders, Limon Fan, who's just disappeared, and now he's back, and Hayden Pedersen, and Hayden's ADD.
Yeah!
Welcome.
We're here, baby. Woo!
Jesus Christ!
Wow.
Oh my God!
Guest in itself. I'm gonna ruin this podcast.
We'll just mute him. How about that?
That's a good idea.
He's like, so the Daily Talk Show is a podcast I've been on a few times, and they do Friday night drinks, and I'm known to go in there on Friday night drinks and cause a bit of mischief, and I regularly get put on mute. So it's a handy tool. I might use it with Hayden. Now, speaking of Hayden, what do we all think of his shaved head?
I like it. I think it looks
beautiful.
cleaner than it was, honestly.
It's growing back.
Yeah, no, it looks fine. Like, it doesn't look too weird.
Yeah, it's fine.
I've got used to it.
It's getting in an awkward place where it's like not shaved enough, and it's like getting back to normal. So it's just like no man's land. Like, it feels weird.
You got very similar hair to my brother. Like, it looks like it's thinning, but it's not. It's probably always been like that your whole life. Like, he's
thinning.
got hair. Yeah, he's got hair. So now I'm starting to like get. I'm definitely gonna go not bald, but I'll definitely lose hair like my dad. I've got a similar hair pattern to my dad, whereas my brother's got like this hair that's always been really thin since he was like a kid, but
Really?
it's never changed.
Have you guys seen the SpongeBob movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't.
SpongeBob movie.
You know the scene where they're like King Neptune like takes off his hat thing. They're like bald. Hey guys! That's how I felt. Yeah.
No, man, I'd embrace it. I just get the whole, connector beard going on, the whole Chris Judd look. That's what you want to go for, mate.
Yeah. What is Chris
How
Judd?
did you get that uncommon thing?
That
little floaty thing on your curtains. Is that a projector?
no, that's
That's a sign.
that's an LED sign.
Oh, I thought it was projecting onto the curtains. I was like, what?
No, it's an
That's
LED sign. So I got it
Oh,
from it's Electric something on Bay Street in Brighton, and I actually worked out through Liam that I got a shit deal because it's like it's not real neon. It's like LED with plastic.
Yeah. It's not real. Real neon's like got that flicker and glow, like proper glow.
But it's also like made out of glass, yeah?
Yeah, it's glass tube that they blow and like they shape it like that. Whereas this is just like fake, but it's still
But
good.
neon's super unreliable though, because it can it's like
LED is more safer and reliable.
That's true. It is
neon toxic?
Uh,
You break it, isn't it toxic?
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad for you if you break it. Yeah.
Whose idea is it to fucking start doing neon signs? It's so bad in every way. Except they look
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look good. Who's got a neon here other than Liam?
Oh, I do.
No one.
No,
You do?
not me.
Pretty sure it's only Liam.
Yeah,
It is. You've got one.
It's just the
You've
cool
got one in the
wogs.
background.
It's just the cool wogs
Yeah.
that do that.
No, it's to show you dominance with your nose. It means you got a big nose.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
so this is why I've always got big things. This is like my nose. It's sort of like a
Yeah.
penis measuring. Hey, we've both got neon.
Yeah,
We've both got the big
compensating.
mics. Both got the big mics. Hey.
Yeah.
We've only got small dicks. So.
Yeah.
Pencil.
Shame.
Let's get into chatting about Corona, because that's what I know you guys are sick of probably talking about it, but it's a topic on everyone's mind. First thing for
Relevant.
you,
Got to stay relevant.
do you think this will
Mute.
be the moment of our generation? Like, do you think this will be the thing you tell grandkids?
Yes.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah, I think we will, but I think that it's also like it was. I think that when we went into it, everyone just went crazy, and then people chilled out like pretty quickly. Actually, that's what I think. I reckon I would have thought that it would have gone on for much longer, and not to say that it hasn't stopped, because it will go for much longer. But the hectic period's over, and like in Australia, in America, they're getting absolutely wrecked.
Yeah.
I don't know how long America is going to be fucked for, because like they're not doing really much to like the whole of America is not really doing much. Like, I don't know if they've closed their borders or something, or what's the deal. Like a lot of them are protesting
Yeah,
in
I
the
saw that.
street about it. It's like, dude, like,
Have you guys heard from any fans or people that follow you who are based in America?
Yeah, Joseph,
yeah, well,
who's one of our
Yeah,
friends.
Joseph. Yeah, he got it.
No shit.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
and his mum.
His family,
And
pretty sure they got it.
Arthur, the girl that like I've been hanging out with, she got it as well.
Get a
Really?
bit nervous. Em.
Oh god.
I'm like, yeah, I'm like blushing. I'm like, why don't you say this? Friends,
They
what are
still
the
in
pictures
recovery?
around?
my actions.
By the way, Lauren and I were trying to guess that when we were watching your videos in LA.
Really?
What?
Is he with her or not? There's a whole bunch of awkward tension going on there in those videos.
Yeah, it's awkward. It's so awkward.
You want to kiss me?
Yeah, that's what I said on the first date. I'm like, you better kiss me, bitch. And then she's like,
Oh,
no,
oh my
definitely
God.
not.
That's not good. Are they all okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like,
Joseph,
LA is still got like, it's still got a few cases, but like a lot of cases, but nothing compared to New York, obviously.
Is New York really bad?
Yeah.
I haven't even
I
been
heard New York
keeping
was
up with it.
terrible.
Dude, New York has like they're going through so much shit. Like they were talking about like burying people in parks.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
public parks.
They've got a mass
Oh,
grave on
God.
Staten Island, I think, at the moment.
How many people have died?
Let's have a look, because the number's huge.
You should get Lauren to be that person who like looks things up.
Yeah,
for
I
the
know. We've
podcast.
spoken about it. Do you, Hayden? Actually, you met Dre. Remember the guy who was in here filming?
Yeah, I met him as well.
Oh, you've
Yeah.
met him. That's right. Yeah, because
Yeah,
he was
sure.
in for another day as well. But he's going to start doing more stuff with us, and I think eventually when we move back to this old setup, he will come in and set up. We're just going to buy a little thing to live stream across all platforms as well. It's still in the mail
Nice.
because everything's sold out, man. Like
Yeah.
everyone was like, "Fuck, I'm going to be stuck in home," and then all these devices that you now need got sold out. But the US, how's this? They're at 871,000. 49,000 deaths, and in the last 24 hours, they had 2,300 deaths.
What?
In the last
Oh.
24 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
50,000
crazy.
people have died. What the hell?
yeah.
Do you know what
Yeah.
percentage of them are like what age group?
I don't know because I can't. Like, we've got a website here locally where you can see state by state and all the demographics and stuff like that. But the thing I'm using is COVID-19info.live. Which is just like a general website that pulls all the data for all the countries. But I tell you what, though, there's no fucking way that China's numbers are correct. Absolutely no way.
What do you
82
mean?
Like, to have 82,000 people and the amount of deaths that they had, it just doesn't make any sense anymore.
How many deaths did they have?
They revised it up by 50% exactly the other day. So they were at like 2,500 or 3,000. Now they're at 4,600. but they revised it to an exact amount. So
What?
Odd.
Yeah, they rounded up.
yeah, they rounded it. They rounded it by 50%. So every other country is on these odd numbers, but they're always on these even, like, perfect numbers. I remember seeing, like, someone, we interviewed him. He's from the ANU. He's originally from China, and he's like a geopolitics specialist. So he does, like, all this stuff related to China and all that. And he was showing that there was a chart where, like, the numbers would go exact to this, like, mathematical equation that they'd plotted. So it was like it was going up by exact numbers each day, which is not what would happen. It would go, like, in the US, it'd go bang, then a little bit down, then a little bit up, then a lot down, then a lot up. Like, it would just be very variable. Whereas China, it seems to be like this, like, everything just looks perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Who knows, man? The thing is, none of us will ever actually know.
No, we'll never know. We'll never know how many people actually died because of this or because of something else. Like, in the US, they've got a lot of deaths that happen at home because someone has a heart attack and they don't know if that's caused by the coronavirus.
And they've counted that as a death from the coronavirus as well. A lot of them are actually inaccurate.
Yeah. So it's like Italy's awful, man. We were watching a Vice News doco the other night, and it's just interesting to see how bad things are there. I think we're all just lucky to be living in Australia, right?
Yeah,
we've all traveled a lot.
I'm looking at stats now. Like, the cases have gone down, like, ridiculously. Last night, apparently, there was 4 cases in Australia wide.
Yeah,
it's so bad. You know what's weird? Not weird, interesting. I'm looking at this website, and it's saying that there's been, not from coronavirus, but just deaths today in general. There've been 80,000 people worldwide who have died this year.
Just from everything.
Just 18 million people have died this year, just in general. So it's just like
that's perspective to show that how much, like, your life really just doesn't matter compared to, like, everything.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But I think that's sorry, you go.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say that, like, when I said that, like, it can sound pretty depressing when you think of it like that. But I think that a good thing to think about with that is actually seeing it in a positive light and knowing that your decisions that you make, like, yeah, it's good to take responsibility for what you do and everything. But in the big scheme of things, if you screw up and if you're just whatever, like, it just doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, we just worry about, like, the stupidest shit, and it just doesn't matter. Like,
that's
so
right. You've been reading the Stoics. You've been getting your inner wog on.
In a wog? Yeah, in a Greek.
Yeah, hey, Liam and Mike, you should know that. Stoicism, it was created by the Greeks and perfected by the Italians.
Really?
Okay?
What even is it?
Stoicism is like a general philosophy on life. It's sort of like Western Buddhism, I guess you could call it. It's not a religious practice, but it's just an ethos on life. And one of the things they focus on is in the sphere of the history of the world, your insignificance means that you probably shouldn't worry about the little things that people normally sweat over. Like, if someone's dissing you in the comments on YouTube, be like Mike. Just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well,
you'd be like, fuck you, have a shit one.
It's about caring about shit that matters. It's about caring about shit that matters and not caring about shit that doesn't matter. It's just simply, that's literally the philosophy.
So what are the things that matter to us?
Your friends and family and your health and what you enjoy doing. I think that's about it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't really, I don't care about, like, money's
followers.
Right. But followers and money still serve, like, a good purpose. But it's it's not the center of what you should be worrying about.
They can make you happy. You're definitely right. They can solve problems, but it's not the be all and
it's not the center. Like, money is great. Like, you need money to have options to be able to do certain things. Like, but it doesn't mean it's the center of everything that you create or that you do. Like, I think that even if you're sitting at home right now because, like, all of us are in quarantine or all of us has to social distance, it doesn't mean that we can't create. We just create differently. It's like having no money or a lot of money. Like, if I had all the money in the world, I'd be buying, like, fucking 10 Bugattis and, like, doing, like, a demolition derby or some shit because it just doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? But because I don't, like, you just create in different ways. I think that it's not the center of what you do. As long as you enjoy it and it comes from within you, it doesn't matter how many followers or how much money you make or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, nothing in the nature of money or followers or anything external can make you happy. Nothing can externally, nothing can make you happy. Like, it can make you satisfied and stuff for like a little bit. And yes, you do need a certain amount of money to live, to get by. But dude, you see people that are homeless all the time. Mike told me about this a few months ago, and they actually choose to be homeless because they don't want to be a part of the whole money and like society and everything like that. And they tend to be like happier than other people, because the thing is, happiness comes from within. It's never anything external. Nothing external can lead to happiness.
Yeah,
it's an illusion.
I don't know if it's a large percentage of people that are homeless, or if it's a way that some homeless people justify being homeless. But when I was in Sydney a few years back with my mum, we were speaking with some homeless people, and because we were like on set shooting something for a while ago. Mum used to work for Maya, and she used to bring me around to some of her shoots or whatever. And there was, where we were shooting, there was a bunch of like homeless people lined up in the city, and we were just like talking to this one lady, and that's what she said. She said she didn't want to live within the rules of society.
Yeah,
like
fuck him.
shit that we go through. So she just wanted to do her own thing.
On the point of Stoicism, so what? Just remind people, what was the book that you read, Hayden?
Which one? I've read like a few.
The Ryan Holiday one.
I've read Ego is the Enemy and Obstacle is the Way. They're both by Ryan Holiday.
Yeah, I'd say Obstacle is the Way is the best starter one. It's probably the easiest one to begin with. And then there's the one that I read recently, which is, what's it called? A Guide to the Good Life.
Oh, yeah, you told me.
Yeah, so this one's really interesting because the guy is, he was either a psychologist or a historian, but he basically just writes about the history of Stoicism and then the key practices they had. And each practice has like 2 or 3 chapters dedicated to it. So it's very interesting to get an idea. And he also he also covers a lot of questions that people ask about Stoicism, and how, you know, it may be useful or not very useful in the modern day. Like, what was the one of the ones here?
What do you think is like the importance of Stoicism?
Okay, the main thing I think that Stoicism gives people is self-awareness.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing, because look, I don't think, or I don't agree with diving into one ideology and wholly believing in it and becoming like, you know, almost like a religious zealot for any one type of belief. I think of reading many different things and combining it into one, but I just think that Stoicism is probably in this era a good wake-up call for people. Like, it has its popularities in different generations. Like, it was really popular in Rome during a certain period because people had gotten very wealthy, and then there was a lot of setbacks in society and people were all moany about life, and so it became very, very popular. And I can see a lot of parallels today in how it may be useful, and I can see why it's becoming more useful for people. Anyway, I want to jump back to this coronavirus shit. Let's think about, when did we start to notice it? I knew for work probably the end of December. We have a client who's sort of a few clients in the finance space, and they were the most adept of what was going on and just reading in that area. When did you all first start to take notice of, when was the first moment you noticed this thing was going to be quite serious?
I heard it first when it was really close to, I think, Chinese New Year. So it was like a few weeks before. So probably like the first few days of February. And like people were stuck in China and they couldn't actually celebrate with their family because of the virus. Yeah, that's what I heard. That was the first time I heard.
That affected us greatly as well. Like all of us, because we were planning on doing a number of things. First of all was working with Sony. We were trying to figure out a trip to South Korea. And it was really funny how, like, not funny, like I don't want to say funny, but it is funny in our regard, because we discarded it pretty much. We're like, oh, the coronavirus is another thing that the news is going to blow up or whatever, and try and milk it or whatever. But we didn't really think much of it, because obviously, like, you know, you're so fast paced and everything, social media, like it's so hard for something just to get like to a massive scale worldwide for everyone to sort of believe it. Do you know what I mean? Because there's so much shit on the news. But we were planning a trip to South Korea with Sony to do a photo battle over there. We're going to go over for 1 week.
Nice.
And my parents told me, they were like, saw in the news. I was like, me and Liam always joke about our parents watching the news because it's just like, they just want to believe it and get all, get all flustered and stuff. Oh, this on the news, like this person did this, and they'll watch out, which is fun because they care and they love us. But, coronavirus is another one of those things. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, discarded it. Kept looking for flights and stuff while we were speaking to Sony. And then it started to get serious. It started to make breaking news and shit. And then I was like to Sony, okay, we won't go anywhere near South Korea or anywhere in Asia for that matter. We'll go to New Zealand. And then we were planning on going to New Zealand at the end of March, which is literally when this was peaking for Australia. And then a couple of weeks before everyone closed their borders or was thinking about closing borders and going on lockdown, and New Zealand was like the first to take it seriously. And so it just banned anyone from going in and out. So that kind of ruined the whole job with Sony for now. And then we were going to do the in-home photo battle with them, but we decided to wait until this was cleared up to do something else. But that was that story. And then on top of that, we had the 15-second photo challenge. So someone won from Russia, and then we were trying to get them a visa because we were going to go to Tasmania in the same month of doing the photo battle with Sony. And yeah, obviously that all got cancelled as well. So
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got something exciting to organise when all this is said and done, and we can all travel.
Yeah,
again.
definitely. Yeah, but even when we can travel, sorry to cut you off, but even when we can travel again, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. So Lauren and I, we're meant to be getting married in October, and we're thinking now it's best to just move it to April. And we're meant to be, we're going to plan to book the honeymoon around October anyway, and we're going to go to Europe. But fuck, I don't know if that's going to even, who knows? I don't know if we could potentially travel to Europe without a vaccine. I've heard of cases in, I think it's in Chile and some South American countries now, to get in, you get a visa or you have to get a check to say that you're immune to coronavirus. So maybe there may be a case where to travel to things like Europe and the US, you actually have to have a form of verification in your passport to say that you're immune.
But do they know that you can get it once you get it and once you've beaten the virus? Do they know that you can be immune to it because they know that now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good thing.
There's two strains. There's the L strain and the S strain. One of them is more deadly than the other, and that is what is infecting more people. But that's when there's been cases of reinfection, it's been secondary reinfection, or they've gotten the other strain. So imagine that. Yeah. I've read cases of people getting the flu, and then 3 weeks later they get the coronavirus.
That apparently if you get the flu and then you get the bad coronavirus, no matter what age you are, that's really bad.
It's very
people
serious.
Our age can die from that if you get that and the coronavirus.
Has anyone here had the flu before?
Yeah.
No.
I've had it before.
I don't know. How do you know? How do you know that you have
You
it?
would fucking know.
It's just being really sick.
Because I've been super sick before to the point where if I try to stand up, my head just feels like I can't even stand up.
You've probably had it.
It sounds like. I remember I had it when Lauren and I were traveling in Europe in 2012, and I got it in Poland. And I remember we caught a fucking 13-hour train from Krakow to Berlin. I remember hallucinating on the train and hopping off the train. I was still hallucinating. But basically you would know because it's you have aches all over your body. And you have no energy. Your energy is just gone and you can't eat. That's the other thing. You just have to keep, everything tastes like shit. I remember Lauren made me special spaghetti and meatballs, handmade meatballs. And I couldn't, it was just horrible. Eating it was absolutely horrible. So
I think I've definitely had it.
Yeah. I've had it once and I've never not gotten the flu shot since because I just don't want it. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
I hate needles. I fucking can't do needles, man.
I got my
Really?
flu shot the other day, and I thought that I was gonna faint, but I was all right.
Oh,
I've never got a flu shot.
Really?
What?
No, never.
What?
Well, when I was like maybe like young, yeah, but I haven't had one since.
Dude, honestly, like,
Get it.
I think that you should get it now because we're going into flu season. If you got that and the coronavirus, you'd just be like a.
Yeah, I'll pay for it, Liam. So just go get it.
No, I'll die happy because I've created some content, got some videos that I've liked. Got them
Yeah,
out there.
don't think,
Good.
just cark it. That's your thing.
Don't
Dude.
think.
Don't see the actual Corona stock. I'm looking at it right now. So,
Oh yeah.
dude. Okay, so it's going great. Like end of 2019, like they're up. I don't know how to read stocks. I don't really know what I'm looking at, but like it looks like they're going awesome, right? And then it like dips and it goes up and down. You know how businesses go, like, right? And then March this year, it literally drops like 70% of its value. Like it just goes pretty much down to like sub almost negative 100K. I don't know what that means, but like
So this is
Like my subscriber count after I go ADHD.
it's called Constellation Brands, I think.
right. But it just well, whatever I'm looking at here, like
Where are we?
like it just brutally goes down. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean
Like the beer company.
that's been what the stock market has been like the last okay, here's an interesting thing just from like a finance perspective. How much whack shit has been happening lately? Like obviously the market has dropped massively, but now it's come back like nothing has happened, but businesses can't do any trade. Like I've got probably, I reckon 10% of our clients in the retail space will go broke. So I see like potentially 2 or 3 of our clients going broke. If things don't change here locally. Now that's locally here where things are good. What is it going to be like in the US? And then other weird shit, like people, like, has everyone heard about the thing going on with oil at the moment?
Like olive oil.
No.
Oil.
No, like
Yeah,
oil.
olive oil.
Like what?
Vegetable oil.
So oil,
Fuel oil.
this
like
this
fuel.
month, right,
Petrol.
went down so much, and Saudi Arabia and Russia are producing so much oil at the moment that now the future price of oil, which is like a contract you can trade, is negative, which means that people who make oil and store it are willing to pay you to take a barrel of oil.
Really?
What?
Yeah. So for this month of June, and there's so little consumption in the world of oil that they're willing to pay people to take a barrel of oil.
Holy crap.
That's so interesting.
That is insane. How long that won't go on for that long.
It's only for this month. It's only happened this month. It's the first time ever in history.
Is that because it costs them more to like store it?
Exactly. It's so expensive to
Oh
store.
my God.
So I saw an article on Forbes the other day because we were just comparing stuff with some of our clients, and they sent me a link to this article, and basically it costs $400,000 a day to store like 10,000 or 30,000 barrels on this ship, because now they're just using ships to store them on a dock because it's so fucking expensive. So yeah, it costs $400,000 a day to store that little oil.
Imagine if those ships went down as well, like whatever happened to it, and there's a massive oil spill.
Well, I guess you get insurance then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, insurance. Fix the planet with insurance. We have planet insurance.
Planet insurance.
Meerkat, compared to the market.
Yeah, it's called coronavirus.
Yeah.
Oh, who's seen that meme where it's like we're not the what's that fucking meme where it's like the dolphins are returning to Venice and stuff like
Venice.
that. Coronavirus isn't the problem, we are, or some shit like that. I saw one recently how it's been translated to this meme just mocking those people, and it's like the Eastern Freeway is completely green.
Like what? It's like grass.
No, like as in like on Google, it's like a photo of Google Maps.
Oh, yeah.
There's no traffic. It's like
it's completely green.
It's great.
I thought you were saying like it's growing grass.
Yeah. And so it's like, coronavirus isn't the problem. We are. Like, just that sort of shit. And then someone else did another one of, like, the Balti Bridge, and it's just stuff like that.
There's a lot of
empty
memes
right now.
going around. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the memes have, like, slowed down with the coronavirus stuff a fair bit, but there was
Coronavirus!
Ed, that's the intro to a new TV show about coronavirus. No, there was a meme I remember when we did the avatar haircut on me from, like, the photo battle. The meme for, like, the avatar thing came out after I got my head shaved. So it was just coincidence because we didn't do it obviously because of the meme or anything, but then, like, it just started to become, like, this thing where other people are doing it as well.
Hang on, Avatar or One Punch Man?
It was Avatar.
Oh, Avatar, right.
The arrow, yeah.
Yeah. I always got confused with that character as well, and I used to think it was, has anyone seen The Last Airbender?
That's Avatar.
It's Avatar.
That is Avatar.
Oh, fucking hell.
I'm so confused.
I get confused with, like, there's that and another character. I don't know what it is.
Who?
But
One Punch Man is a different TV show.
So I got confused with One Punch Man because I saw, like, a video before I watched yours about a guy who tried One Punch Man's exercise routine. And he looks like Hayden as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I should become an anime character. Will that work out for me? I don't know. Leave it down in the comments. Yeah.
So I guess for us at our business, we've seen sort of like a drop to any new work. Like, I feel like it's basically zero except for stuff like email and website related stuff. I guess for you guys as creators, everything would be about live at the moment. I know I've jumped on a few lives. I tried to do a nude live with Hayden the other night.
You actually probably would have gotten away with it, and you would have probably looked more sane because you were doing it live with me. But wait, but what? How come you're how come you can't do podcasts? Like, can't you do, like, online ones like we're doing now?
Yeah. So we can do that for clients, but the people starting new type of work is few and far between.
Yeah, true.
Like, basically everyone's gone to not spending any money because they're paranoid. But things are slowly changing. So I guess for you guys, what is working like at the moment? What is it like trying to make content and earn money in comparison to what it was 3 months ago?
Yeah,
It's
it's
like-
not too bad.
It's pretty much, it's not bad. Like, it's not like we can't create content because we can. And, like, I remember even before coronavirus, like, we would still create videos where we're at home, but now we just got to be more creative, I guess. And it's good because I know, I can't remember who said it. Someone cool said it. Someone famous said it. But they said, like, when it's like restraints enable creativity or something like that. When you have, like,
Yeah.
what is it? What's
Creative
the quote?
constraints.
Well, it's along the lines of the more limitations you have, the more you have, the more growth that can come from pushing through them. So the more constraints you have, limitations, like, inside your house, like, you're not going out, because it's very easy for you to go in New York and, like, find a cool location, take a photo. You don't need to be creative for that. But when you're stuck within the confinements of your home, then you are forced to get to think outside the box. And that forcing to get to think outside the box is doing a heavier rep of creativity. So you grow stronger in the creative part of your mind.
You're just, like, thinking outside of the box more. Like,
Ordinarily, it's easy to fall back on, and this would come to the question that you guys get a lot, which is, what camera should I buy? But, like, a lot of people can just fall back on things that are monetary related. Oh, okay, I can spend money on this equipment or this thing, or this software. Whereas the reality is, when you're a creator, you just need to do shit and be competitive. So
exactly, yeah. You just, like, now's the perfect time for all creators to just try new things. Like, I'm doing more live streams on YouTube, like, because everyone's got time. No, if someone doesn't reply to you now, they're fucking, that's on them. Everyone's got time now. But, like, I've been thinking outside of the box a bit. I know the boys have been as well. Hayden did a video about making and breaking his bed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was interesting.
We were watching it, and I was like to Lauren, like, there would have just been such an easier way of taking that fucking photo. Like, also you're such a perfectionist. Like, only you, like, that photo, the first one you had was like perfectly fine for a thumbnail.
Okay, so reason why I didn't like it. The reason why I didn't like it was because it wasn't symmetry, and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. You're not a photographer, Jordan. Don't talk shit to me about you knowing your photography skills. Shoot me. Cheers. Anyway, it's on backwards. Anyway, no, I was looking for symmetry and stuff, and I like balance in my photos, but I don't like it to be perfect. It's just thumbnails. It's just YouTube.
Hayden, what you could have done, if you got 2 ladders and put them either side of your bed and then put a plank through them, a plank of wood.
That's way more difficult. What do you mean? What do you actually mean?
You could have got way higher.
A fucking ladder.
Dude,
I get a ladder and a plank of wood. That's so much easier than using my already usable tripod.
Dude,
And my
Look
usable
at
brother.
the vein in his forehead. Oh my god.
Oh.
You know who Hayden looks like? He looks like that
use the force,
kid who's
obviously.
sort of like. Has anyone seen that
What?
meme?
What?
Where he's like
yeah, where he's like in class and he's like trying to hold in a fart.
something like
Yeah,
that.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
speaking of equipment, I got to ask you guys, because I'm finally getting my YouTube channel going, like starting recording next week.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, well, we actually are.
Yeah, we actually no.
I had to shuffle around what Dre was doing, so we've got like our first recording next Friday. I think I would do them every Friday.
Nice.
He'll edit them through.
What's
the
the
week.
video going to be? Just the podcast? Or
Well,
what?
no, I tried to work out what's the thing to stand out. So I just last night I did a cull of all the YouTube channels that I follow and see what I really like. So there's 2 types of channels that I think do well. There's the personality, which is someone like yourselves that may cover a particular topic or whatever it may be. And then there's the personality, but sort of remixing a particular topic that they're really good at. So for us, we want to be able to drive business people to our agency business, right? So I'm thinking.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. So sorry. What did you mean by the second thing? People remixing the topic that they.
So
what does that mean?
A good example would be Graham Stephan. Graham Stephan show. He's sort of an example of someone who's pioneered this new model where they're basically doing current affairs commentary, but with a particular lens. Like, let's say personal finance, marketing, business, whatever it may be. Now they may cover topics that are evergreen, that like how to manage a budget or something like that for Graham Stephan, but he doesn't do it as often as, say, covering what someone will spend their stimulus check on. So I feel like we're going to go down that route more, because I feel like that's where sort of YouTube is going for having a niche. I don't think for me it makes sense to be just a personality. I want to be able to actually drive business from that channel as well as teach people things. Because we already do that with Uncommon. We already sort of teach people and drive a personality of a show. So, what
do you mean by personality? Like, I'm curious.
Well, people watch you on YouTube for you.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree with you.
I don't watch Graham Stephan's show just for him. I watch it for him specifically for his take on how he's going to spend his stimulus check or how he saves money buying a Tesla, because I'm interested in that topic, and he's a knowledgeable person in that topic. But you guys could touch many different topics, and your audience wouldn't worry, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the common ground with our audience is photography, obviously. So that's what draws people in.
That's the initial drawing.
Yeah, exactly. But we can also make videos about other things which our normal photography audience would spill across to, but it won't get as much traction because it's not photography.
Yeah.
It's not that,
See, I think those days of YouTube are a lot harder because YouTube has blown up so massively. The idea of just being a personality and drawing people in. Like, think about when you first started YouTube and how much smaller it was to now. You've got to really hone in on what your niche is. Whereas with you guys, you've been able to build and craft what that is through your audience, and they've grown with you over the way. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look at it like a bit more strategically in comparison to what we did with the podcast. With the podcast, we just launched it and sort of just found our way, basically.
Well, it depends, bro. It depends. Like, what's your motivation? Like, do you want people to like your stuff for one specific thing, or do you want to talk about what you're passionate about and then have those people fall into place? Because the thing is, what you put out is what you're going to attract in the world. So if we put out like, I don't know, shit about makeup, and apparently, well, okay, it's a terrible example, but like,
that'd be funny.
If for whatever reason, we were good at makeup or whatever, we were like passionate about talking about it, like right now, and no one knew about that, and we put that on our channels, people would be like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
But the thing is, people that like makeup might be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then you draw in those people, but then you get rid of the people that you already have, unless if they are into makeup as well. So you gotta, that's why it's actually,
it's like a chicken and egg.
Yeah, it's so, what does that mean?
Chicken and egg. Which came first? Was it creating content for yourself or creating content for an audience? Like,
for yourself, always.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, I think what you guys are saying is what you put out will automatically draw in those. The algorithm will make sure that you find those type of people. So
exactly right.
That's the thing. But it's not even. It's more like what you put out there, people are going to see, and people are going to get attached to that. So an extreme example with what I'm doing with YouTube is before, like, I've done like all my research and stuff. Like, the more you do something, the better you get at it, obviously. And throughout my YouTube journey, I've become more and more comfortable with being myself. But there's been like a real like paradigm shift recently where I've been a lot more crazy than usual because I'm expressing that part of myself that I haven't done previously. And because I'm expressing that part of myself, a lot of people don't like that because it's not what they're used to. It's not what I've put out in my past videos. So that's why it's so freaking important, no matter what, you have to be yourself, because if you're not, then people are going to love you for someone you're not. Oh, sorry. People are going to love. That was a great timing in my conversation. People are going to love you. It's much better for people to hate you for who you are than for people to love you for someone that you're not.
Yeah. So that's my issue is that you can tell by my podcast, I'm a generalist. I like a lot of different topics. And so I guess I'm trying to say is I've just been trying to find the topic that I like the most, but also that I can actually add some value. I don't want to become, when I first started the podcast, I was like, I started it because I loved Tim Ferriss. But there are so many people who want to be like Tim Ferriss. You got to find your own thing in your own way. And that's, I guess, what I'm trying to hone in on. What's the unique thing that I do? And I think that, I like self-improvement or, what was that?
Who was that? Which one of us?
Horn.
Oh, it's Limon.
It was mine.
So there's self-improvement, there's finance, there's marketing and sort of persuasion. What else is there? There's health, I guess, psychology.
Do you know what I would do, Jordan, if I were you?
What?
I would write down like the top 15 things you like. They don't even have to be in order about what you like. I would just write down the top 15 things that you really kind of enjoy, or something that you might even like. Could even be like a type of food or whatever. I'd write down all 15 things, like just 15 things randomly, and then see which two of those things can work together. Because I think a YouTube channel can be really successful if you mix like two or three things together. Like, for example, my channel is mixed between cars and photography. It can be one or the other, and more or less I'm
the remix
in the future. I think like Liam's going to be bringing in more food and incorporating that with photography. So he gets to cook a meal and then he gets to photograph it as well. Hayden really likes to talk about motivating people and stuff like that, but he also incorporates that into our photo shoots and stuff. So I think there's like, if you were to start a YouTube channel, it doesn't have to be one niche. It can still be you. But I think that if you were mixing like a couple of things together that created your style, like that's how a style is sort of formed when it's like kind of like music. Like there's quite a few different artists like Queen and Prince and some even the newer artists like Lil Peep and that XXX-Tentacion guy or whatever. Like they were kind of prodigies because they were mixing like two different types or three different types of genres together that then stood out from everybody else because they're just doing their own thing.
I think you're right. I think that's what the thing I was trying to identify with that Graham Stephan guy that he did really well. And so we, Dre and I went through and we made like a spreadsheet of all the topics. Well, I originally did it with Lauren and then Dre's added some in that he thinks I've covered in the past in the podcast. And so if we look at them, there's 40 potential videos I've got here, topics, and the bulk being 20 of them is all about marketing and media and persuasion, I guess you could call it. Then there's maybe 8 about self-improvement and maybe 9 about business generally. So it's sort of obvious where my interests are going to push the channel, and that's good because I want there to this is what I want to do with my future around the agency work and marketing and media. So I think that if I can hone in on that better, that'd be good.
But also, man, you gotta be it's not careful, but it's what I'm trying to say is maybe also make sure that you're not trying too hard to find your own thing as well. I think that also it's a good thing to just experiment, and rather than being like, okay, I'm Jordan and this is what I want to say, rather being more like, okay, this is my YouTube channel and this is what needs to be said. So making it not about like developing your own specific style or whatever, but just saying stuff that is true to you, what you actually believe in, and then putting that out there regardless of whether people are going to come to your channel or not. Because that's the foundation. That's where it's built. Otherwise, if you build your foundation on like, okay, I want to bring in this audience, like what if you, for whatever reason, in the next like year or something, don't end up liking doing that thing anymore?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Totally agree. I think I'm wary of that, just based on my experience in the past with originally starting the podcast. I think if you go back and listen to episode 1 to 20, like they're all shit.
It's good though.
It's good though. It's how you cut your teeth.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. I don't know what that means, but yeah. You're working it out. Like you guys, when you first started out on YouTube, like if you go back and watch Hayden's vlog number 6 when he's eating. When he's eating his fucking, what was it, Mars bar or Snickers or something at the train station. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. 100 subscribers or something.
Yeah. I just want to say, guys, come on, subs, it's great.
Yeah, literally.
Now, the original thing I wanted to ask was who here qualifies for JobKeeper or that PAYG credit? Does anyone here qualify for that?
Credit. I don't even know what that is.
So I know that Liam and Mike have got the business, or it's a trust, right? But it's a trust run by a proprietary limited company, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So what's the goal for the next few months? I know for Lauren and I, it's like doing all the things that we said we'd be doing over this year and just condensing it all and getting it done. Like I said, Dre's coming in. He's doing more stuff. We've actually got a young guy who's just wanting to help and learn, edit the podcast. We've changed a bunch of processes. We're trying to get proper cameras now for me to do more YouTube stuff, the channel. Fuck, what else is there?
You got a lot.
Originally, we wanted to move into a studio, but obviously that's not going to be happening this year. So what does everyone think about? Maybe we can start with Hayden. What are the big goals that we want to achieve for the rest of the year?
I don't like goals. Like that's not actually how I really work. I don't really set myself goals. I did that last year because I remember Mike was telling me, dude, you should like set yourself goals for the end of the year and everything like that. And I did that, and I didn't hit any of them. So, but it's not even about that. It's not even about hitting the goals. It's more like, okay, like what's my, yeah, it's the process, of course, but it's like, what's the North Star? And then like, what can I do in the meantime to like better myself every single day? I suppose an overarching goal would be every single day pushing my limits, just like a little bit more every single day, so I grow into the person that I want to become, which will never be in reach because you'll always be improving. That's the whole thing.
We're insatiable as humans.
Yeah, well, I'm just completely focusing on pushing my limits. That's my biggest goal. But I suppose a small goal that's been lingering for the past like few months and stuff is hitting 1 million subscribers. But now it's gotten to the point where I don't even give a flying fuck. Like it just, because like doing all this research and everything, nothing in that is really, it doesn't like matter to me at all.
971, not far off.
What does that mean?
971,000 is what is.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I don't even know.
Do you want to pass 80 over here? We're trying to get to 1,000 on our YouTube channel.
1,000? Oh, yeah. I'll just give you some.
We picked up 4 overnight. Yes.
Wait, on your YouTube channel on Uncommon?
Yeah, just on Uncommon.
Oh, nice. Oh, well, that's good.
Numbers.
It's neither good nor bad. It just is.
No, I think your first 1,000 is good because it allows you to then apply to get paid, and then or one step closer, you need to get your watch hours. But I guess if you've got a podcast, I reckon you've already got
hours
watch
are big.
hours, surely.
Yeah, watch hours are big. It's like I can't even remember how many minutes it would be. What would be a fair amount of watch hours for a podcast? Do you think?
I have no idea.
Per video?
Yeah.
Well, how long? So, like, say your videos are like an hour, maybe like 20 minutes?
The clips can be like 10, 15 minutes, and then some episodes can be like an hour and a half. Some are 45.
Hour and a half, yeah, probably around like 20 to 30 minutes is a lot of watch time per video. That's a lot.
That's heaps, bro.
That's
so
heaps.
Much. I doubt, like, think about, like, I know me, I barely ever watch more than, like, 5 minutes of a YouTube video. Like, it doesn't even, like, matter how long it is. Like, I don't stay on videos for that long.
Yeah.
I guess a podcast is different if someone's listening to it in the background. That's different.
Man, these stats on YouTube never ever make sense to me.
Okay,
here we go. Average view duration is 18 minutes.
That's amazing.
Is it?
Yes. Well,
That's
it's
really
neither good nor bad, but like it's just what it is. It is what it is.
So last 28 days, we had 23,000 minutes watched. Last month.
That's great.
I don't know what that is, but
Neither do I.
But the thing is, I don't know whether YouTube takes into account the percentage of the video that's watched. So if you have a video that's 20 minutes long and your average duration is 20 minutes, that is ridiculous, obviously, and it's just impossible pretty much. But if you have a podcast and your videos are like an hour and the average duration is 20 minutes, I don't know whether YouTube promotes those videos more because the percentage is lower.
But it's not percentage based, it's time based, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way as well. But then why isn't like podcasts, why aren't they pushed way more? Maybe they are.
Don't know.
Maybe we don't know. And it's the time.
Maybe
I mean,
It depends what you've been watching. Like,
are.
I've been watching cooking shows, and like I've been getting cooking things and stuff. Like, not cooking shows, but like
My videos.
pan fried chicken. Like best way to pan fried chicken. I've been cooking with
Fried
Zandria
chicken.
more.
Hey, just a side quest. What did who had panettone on Easter?
No.
No.
I don't know what that is.
Mate,
Panettone.
you need to get your inner wog going.
Okay,
It's
well,
pronounced
for fuck's
panettone.
sake, I'm not Wog, so I'm not going to know all this shit.
Panettone is like the greatest thing that the Greeks never invented.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
honestly not that great, I don't think.
No, okay.
It is.
Panettone, that is like your cheap packet panettone. I would agree with you on that. I'm not a fan of fruit.
What is panettone?
It's okay.
It's fruitcake. It's carrot cake.
It's
There you
basically
go.
like a
Carrot
sweeter
cake.
fruit cake.
Cake.
But they
It's
use
mud
like
cake from
It's
college.
almost like a bread though.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's like a bread fruit cake.
Oh,
But the one-
actually, no, I
Yeah.
did see that at Liam's 21st.
So
Yeah.
we had one from the cafe next door. They made, because they're Italian, they made like proper bread based panettone with actual strawberries in it.
I could imagine that
Fucking
being
amazing.
really good.
That actually
Like the
sounds
high
good.
quality shit. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I
Like
had one
homemade.
at Andrews that was really good.
Yeah,
But
that
Very hungry.
with some
right now.
Yeah,
vanilla bean ice cream from Messina is just
Ooh,
Boy, Jordan.
ooh, that sounds
Jordan,
good.
do you dip your panettone in like a glass of milk?
I've been known to do that.
Okay, good. I was going to say I was about to leave if you didn't.
Panettone sounds like it. Panettone sounds like a bad guy off Mario. It's a me, Panettone.
It's a me, a panettone.
Oh no, it's panettone!
Who hasn't covered their I'd agree with you on the goals thing. I have this thing where it's like a system, so I try and be like a certain way, and then I have little habits that I try and have on a monthly or quarterly basis and make sure, like, you know, as an example, exercise. The biggest thing with exercise is just doing it. Like,
Yeah.
like you're fine if you're hitting like 80% of the goal of going to gym 4 times a week. But if you're yo-yoing around like 2 times this week, 1 times next week, 3 the next, like the consistency is what is crucial there. So what's everyone else thinking about for the rest of the year? Maybe we can jump to Liam.
I just think about it pretty much one video at a time. Like that's what helps me just not get overwhelmed. Like I don't really think too like long term for me. All I want to do is just hang out with the boys, you know, hang around with my family, travel, you know, all that sort of stuff. Just create content. The boys.
The boys.
I was born with the boys. No,
I was born a boy.
and then just video by video. Like just as long as I'm creating videos, everything else sort of falls into place. Like I don't have any like, oh, I want to hit this many subscribers, or I want to have this much money, or I want to be in this place. Like I don't really have any goals like that. It's just as long as I can make videos and make a living out of that, that's all I really care about.
Yeah. What about you, Mike and Limon?
Michelangelo.
I like having goals. I don't like. I think I showed Liam like I was doing a cleanup around my house and I found like my old goals from 2018, but since like 2016 or 2017, like at the end of the year, I just write like a list of things that I want to do for the year, which it doesn't affect me if I don't achieve them or not. It's just like things, like cool things that I, like if I like travel to 3 continents, I think was like last one of last year's goals or something. And it's like, I don't think I achieved that, or maybe I did, I can't remember, but it doesn't affect me if I did, but I think it was more or less just like things that I just wanted to do in my life. But I found one from 2018 and I was showing Liam. It's on my desk downstairs, and it's like, it says like hit 70K on Instagram, post more stories about me, like post more about, and I was like on target with some of the things that I like doing now, which is like put more of my personality into my Instagram page, because before all of YouTube and stuff, there was none of my face like on Instagram or YouTube, or I didn't even have a YouTube channel, but like, I think like having all those goals, like having like 70K and like having this much money in my bank account and stuff, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't work that way, and it doesn't like matter in that regard, I think. But like now, some like these goals, like I've got them, I have like them on my door when I walk out, so I see them every day. But some of it was like set up like merchandise, launch like our version 2 presets and stuff, own like the new WRX that I have now. I wanted to go to the gym more. I wanted to do something crazier with the season 2 of photo battle, like this year of photo battles and stuff, which I don't know, it's a bit harder to do now, I guess, because we can't really hang out. But
it's all right, we'll be able to push it.
Yeah, I wanted to move my Shopify over to website. Sorry, what? I said that wrong.
Shopify.
I'm fucking dumb. No, I wanted to move my website over to me and Liam's website over to Shopify, which we did and we didn't do. We made a Shopify website, but then kept our current website on Wix, and then just integrated it into Shopify.
Wix. Oh.
So, no, it's so good, bro. Wix is the best. We found it easier than Shopify for our business. Yeah, for what we do. Just works better because a lot of the plugins, like, you can just drag and drop anything and it'll just play it back. It'll just cop it. Like,
what about you, Limon? What's the goal?
I think for me, it's just like I don't really have set goals. I more have like a list of priorities that I want to just focus on. So at the moment, one of the first priorities would be uni. So doing all my uni work and stuff. And then apart from that, it'll be mainly photography afterwards. And with that, I think I kind of just want to explore more in terms of creating photos that I really personally enjoy myself. That really comes from within, not just like trying to follow trends or going like, hey, this looks aesthetic or cool. It's more just like actually taking photos that really mean something to me for in terms of photography. And like with that as well, like I think with YouTube, it's really not a priority for me because like I know it does take up a lot of time. And I think the main thing is I want to focus more on the actual photography side and like expressing myself through that means first. And then maybe later on, who knows, after uni, I could focus more on YouTube. I think that's my goal at the moment.
What's this is an interesting thing. I feel like Hayden brought this up. You spoke about creativity. I noticed Mike was a bit of a Debbie Downer on your last podcast when you're in bed and he's all mopey.
I was having a shit one.
He's having a shit one, that's for sure.
I haven't even watched it. Can't even. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Anyway.
Yeah, I put all this time into bloody editing and you don't fucking watch it.
I'm too busy doing shit. I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
All right, you can edit the next one. You've just volunteered yourself. Anyway, go on.
So how have we been thinking about the changes in our content and getting creative when you're stuck at home?
Are you talking to me?
That's true.
Talking to all of you.
All right, let's all answer. 3, 2, 1.
Photoshop.
I'm like,
I just think if I want to do something, I think the biggest thing is just executing, like not thinking about how I'm going to do the idea or how it's going to work out. But like I think I film like a lot of stuff, but then there's only so much stuff that I actually make into a video sometimes. And like I felt for 1 week, when I was literally having a shit on that podcast and I felt like shit. And I literally played Need for Speed and Xbox like the whole week for like a week and a half straight. Like I didn't make anything. Like, the last thing I put out was the 992 driving video, which is something I'm going to be doing more of as well. But I can talk about that a bit later, I guess. But I just didn't want to fucking make anything, and everything I tried to make, I just felt like shit talking to the camera. I just didn't want to do it. But I knew that it was temporary and it was going to pass. And I just felt like I couldn't be fucked. Like I had no motivation to even finish filming a video and then to go and edit it and then upload it and do all the things I need to do for a YouTube video. So I was like, look, I'm not going to feel like this forever. Like next week I'll probably be all right. So I'm just going to wait till then, like try and force myself to make something, because everything I tried to make, I was just getting upset at myself. And I was like, fuck this. I'm just not going to do anything until I feel better. And then I'm not thinking about how I'm feeling right now, which happened, and obviously it passed, and now I'm much better.
Yeah, I think we've all had this with this coronavirus shit, and we've all dealt with it in different ways, I'd say. Like I would agree with that. I had that full, like, even though I knew about this stuff, I was like in full denial that this is actually like, oh fuck, okay, actually we can't do this or that. And I was actually just getting fucking mad. I was just like, some guy. Oh, no,
the fucking bat now, Joe.
No, that the government in China couldn't get their shit together with these fucking markets, and now
for society,
we're all affected. We're all affected by it, but all you can do is change your world and the world you live in. So sometimes you need those moments just to fuck things off and get your head clear.
Dude, the thing is, I personally don't know how you do that, Mike. Like, I don't know how you fucking function with like this idea of like, okay, I just feel shit, I'll come back to it. Like, if I was like that, I wouldn't make anything. Like, because I feel shit 24/7. Like,
no, I don't know. I think everyone's different. Like, everyone has a different mindset. So it's like, like when I am like yesterday, I went out and filmed a video on an Evo, and like a driving video or whatever, like a pair, because I've been starting to sing where I drive a car and then I photograph it. And then I just get in the fucking zone, and I like really enjoy doing that. And I really either want to drive the car and I want to keep driving. And then when I get out and I want to take photos of it, I just want to keep taking photos of it until I literally run out of battery on these things or whatever, the GoPros or whatever. And I think that like sometimes I just don't want to do that. So I'll just allow myself to do whatever I actually want to do, which at the time was just play Xbox. I was like, I'm not going to think about it. I just literally don't think about it anymore, because I just don't think I have that processing power to like continue thinking about why I'm feeling shit. I just like do whatever is going to make me happy in that moment.
There's your stoicism, Hayden. There's your stoicism.
Yeah. Well, wait,
So
what?
that's just how I function.
From Mike?
Yeah, from Mike. Like there is no point in getting upset about the fact that you can't push forward.
Well, and as you said, everyone's different. Everyone works differently. It's just simply a mindset. Like it's literally reactivity versus proactivity. Like if you're being reactive, as you know, I've already talked to you about this before, like you base your decisions based on feeling rather than your values. And if you base them on your values, then you're pretty much invincible, because you will push through anything. And whenever you push through things that are difficult, when you feel like dog shit, that is literally what builds resilience and perseverance. If you don't push through it, then you're building, what's the opposite of resilience and perseverance? Like,
comfort, I guess.
Comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
mean.
literally how it is. Yeah. It's like, it's habits. And I'm not telling you how to live your life or anything, but I'm just saying that you can, if you push through those hard times, you grow. That's just it.
I guess, but like I have definitely pushed through hard times and stuff. But I think because of this time, it was so like I wasn't allowed to leave my house, and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do house photography. And I was getting pissed off at the fact about something that I didn't want to do, whether that I should have just been doing it. And then I thought about trying to film it, and then and it just like I like triple fucked myself, because then I thought about filming it, making it, and then editing it. And I'm like, no, fuck this. I want to play Xbox. That's going to make me happy. So that's what I did. And I did that for a week. Once I calmed down and I realized the situation that we're in, and then like you've been saying, I've been uploading videos and stuff, no problem. And then now I have no issue about it. But I think like sometimes it's like, it's not as easy as just like, oh, I'm going to look at my values and see, because I just don't have much practice in doing that.
Of course.
But I think over time, as you like look, these little speed bumps come through in your life and you get better, and then eventually you'll become better at smooth sailing and then ironing out these speed bumps or whatever that come through. But I think that like at the time that I was in the circumstance that we're all in right now, it was like hard to deal with in that moment.
Dude, 100%.
Part of this is knowing, like you guys are still not significantly younger, but you're all on average 5-6 years younger than I am, and part of this is like realizing where your personality traits lie. Like I have this thing with Lauren, I could never really grasp how her sitting down on the couch and watching mindless shit, whether it's like cat videos or dog stuff or whatever, was actually shit. But she, like it's a good point, because it's for her, it is the nature of her personality. She's not a A-type personality. She's not always thirsting for knowledge and going after things, and I just could never ever comprehend that. But over time, we both realized that our personality traits, those big 5 personality traits, differ just enough that those things matter. And so you get a better understanding of yourself as to what is going to get you out of this situation fastest, if that makes sense.
And the thing is, one thing that works for one person might not work for another person, and that, but also nobody is perfect. Like everybody has their days where they're like, I really just do not want to do this, or like I'm extremely tired, I need to rest, kind of thing. That's absolutely fine. And like you can't be perfect, but as you said, Mike, it comes down to practice. Like the more that you do it, the better you get at doing it. Like, it's just like with me meditating every morning. I meditate every single morning. And the reason why is not just so that I can practice mindfulness and everything like that, but It's more about training the value of self-discipline, because there's never any morning where I'm like, hell yeah, I'm looking forward to meditating. Like, it's the most boring thing in the world, but that's why it's good. Like, I sit down, I'm like, all right, this is going to be annoying, boring, painful shit, but this is going to make me grow. Same with doing a live stream. Like, a lot of times I don't feel like doing a live stream. I feel like shit. I feel like the energy that I'm going to bring is not that great. But I start it because I know that, like, if I start it in that situation where I feel like dog shit, I'm going to grow. You know what I mean?
On the point of live streams and let's say YouTube in general, what do we all think is going to change about the way that you're making content now that will stay?
I think a lot more people will be doing live streams, because I know like, as everyone knows, literally all the capture cards are just being sold out because you need a capture card to live stream, and everyone's like, oh shit, I'm stuck at home. Okay, what am I going to do? Like, live stream, like, what other content like can I make, sort of thing. So live streams, I think people are like doing a lot more of that, which I've noticed on YouTube. I think
and Instagram.
And Instagram as well. And I think people will realize that you can actually like make content from inside your house. You don't always have to be going into the city. Like, especially for me, I realized that I don't always have to go and like into the city and do urban photography. I don't have to go to a hectic nature location. They're like privileged times that you shouldn't take for granted. Whereas like I can make all my content from this room and just sit here and make content.
Your experiment, I remember when I tipped you the $4.49 for Panettone. But like, that was such a specific number, but it was like what YouTube offered you. It was so fucking weird, man. Like,
really? $4.49?
Like, I don't know why, but I typed in like $5, but it would keep rounding it to that amount. Or like you type in a certain amount, it would round it to amount. Anyway, I found that was interesting because watching you do that, like, you definitely earned more than like fucking $50 an hour. People were going wild tipping you.
That's just like, that's the thing with live streams. And that's like, you don't do it because you get tips, because like sometimes you might not get any tips. Like, you might get like $5 and you've been on there for 3 hours. But like sometimes you might make like $1,000 in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's just like, but the thing is, it's not $1,000. Say I'm doing a live stream for 3 hours. That isn't whatever the fuck that is, $333 an hour. It's all the time I've spent during that day setting up the live stream.
Yeah.
There's so much more that goes into it than just sitting on live stream, talking shit, sit off it, then I go fucking play with my fucking cock.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people think. That's what people think. I'm serious. People think that like YouTube, like, oh, you make all this money. It's because it's like a full life commitment. You know, it's not something
every
you do on
day.
the side.
Every fucking day, pretty much.
Yeah, a lot of people are blown away when when I tell them how much work goes into like one podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the same. When I filmed like a video, I was with Maurice yesterday, and we were like trying to like film this Evo or whatever, this car that we were filming, whatever. He was going to drive my car and I drove his car, and he was watching me set up all these GoPros around the car to film it. And like shit was going wrong. Like one of the GoPros had like a SD card issue, so I put a new one in there and stuff, and like trying to get the right angle and shit, and then filming, stop, look at the footage, go, like, you know, like people don't see all the behind the scenes. And I'm like, okay, now it's time to take a thumbnail. Okay, now it's time to get this footage. Okay, now we're going to do this again. We didn't get the shot again, so we're going to go. And like people don't see all of the stuff, even if you do include a lot of it. There's still heaps behind the scenes that go into making that one video, like camera angles. And then and then you got to go edit it. And then on top of that, you have to know what you're doing with the camera and editing. That takes years of experience, trial and error, failure and mistakes to get to that point of actually kind of knowing what you do. But then you could take a different take on it. You could completely just scrap the whole idea and film it and film and record it in a completely different way. And that takes a whole another sort of level of learning. So YouTube is fucking hard, man. Like no one said this shit is going to be easy. So I think like people, I think being a YouTuber, people it's sort of starting to take that job a bit more seriously. But if I'm like at an event or something where like I'm not around other creators or whatever, or like I talk to some of my parents' friends or whatever, and I tell them that I'm a YouTuber, I make videos and post them on the internet. I don't think a lot of them can sort of grasp what I do, which is fair enough, because I think it's more of a joke to them. It's like, oh, what, you make videos on the internet, you know what I mean?
What have you done, Hayden?
My camera has stopped recording for some reason. Wait 1 second.
What?
You what? Oh no.
Let's just put him on mute for a bit.
Wait,
Look at his head.
Wait.
Jordan, is this a bad time to tell you that I haven't been recording on my camera?
I don't know.
No, it's fine. This you don't have to. No. This thing will. I'm recording it on my screen anyway. Hayden's having a fucking mental breakdown right now. On mute. All right, we got to get into. We've been gone for a while, so I want to get into a rapid fire questions soon. But I've got to ask, because I think Mike put this up.
Yeah.
What is the thing that we've missed the most that we're gonna do first after
road
all
trips.
this is over?
Fucking road trips. Oh
yeah.
I'm keen to just do more hectic stuff. Like stuff just with the boys. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care where we're going as long as I am with the boys and just doing shit. Like
literally just going outside.
Yeah.
That's all. Going outside.
I never thought that I would miss just going to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very true.
Like, I know.
I miss eating a good bowl of ramen.
Back in my day.
We'll all have to go back to Shandong Mama when all this is over.
True.
Oh,
true.
yes, bro.
Get some bubble tea.
But you know what, man? Like I've actually
I haven't had bubble tea in a long time.
Yeah. No bubble tea.
Across from Shandong Mama. I've actually grown a bit of a love for cooking now. Like I was kind of interested in it before, but like recently I've been cooking a lot with Xandria when I go and see her, and we cook together a lot. So we cook like a steak, like I'll cook the meat and she'll cook like a side dish, like whether it's vegetables or whatever, and then it comes together. And I've actually enjoyed doing that, which is fun. Like I want to take it a bit more seriously now. So I think like there's a lot of horrible things that have come from the coronavirus, but I think there's a lot of good things that have come for not only humanity, but for the planet as well. I think there's a good mix of horrible and amazing things that have come from this whole experience.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that the only reason why these good things have happened, like for anything, any growth of any kind, there has to be a negative situation to put that growth into motion. So that's just, this is literally what maybe the human race had to have happen in order for us to grow.
Yeah, I guess what's that saying? I think Liam said it. Like to get like knowledge or get further, you have to come back with a different mindset or look at it at a different angle. What was that saying?
Oh, you can't solve the problems you have at this point in time with the same thinking you have at this point in time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
At the time,
the same level of thinking. That's Einstein, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard that in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective.
Yeah, it's Einstein.
Well, there's another one which is I think it's not Mas, often confused with Maslow. I think it might be Maslow's hammer.
Mazda 3. Yeah, they're good covers.
Shut the fuck.
Sorry,
the hierarchy.
Design language.
What is
not the hierarchy? It's Maslow's hammer, and the quote is, "If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail." So you can't just use the same approach to most situations. You have to have a varied set of tools to approach it.
Pliers. Like imagine you needed pliers. What would you do?
Yeah, exactly. What I got to say, what's the most annoying thing that you guys are being asked at the moment when you do live streams and whatnot?
Look at my Instagram.
Bold.
Liam, how did that live stream actually go? I was watching it for a little bit.
Okay, so with YouTube and with creating content, I think it's good to try everything, and then you know what you hate. I got suggested to do a live stream where you look through everyone's Instagrams and like critique them and like give advice. I was like, done, I'll do it. I'm not even going to think about it any further than that. I'm just going to fucking go live and do it.
Oh.
It was like about half an hour in where I'm like, holy shit, how many Instagrams have I looked at? Like, you know, what if someone's got like 3 photos. Like, what do I say? Like, it's just, it got to the point where it was super repetitive, and I felt like the only reason I was doing it was to like give people validation, make them feel good, which is just not in my values. Like, I don't believe in validation.
Were you not being honest about your opinion, or were you just trying to like make them feel better?
I was being honest, but I was trying to like really find like things that I liked about their photos. And it's just boring, bro. Like,
it
honestly,
sounds like, you don't care. Like,
yeah,
who
well,
cares?
like, to be honest, like I appreciate
it. Sounds fucking boring.
Me, and it's awesome that they're all creating, but like for me to look at every single one's Instagram is just repetitive.
And
like,
you don't know them as well. So you don't have that connection, like that personal connection with him. So you're not going to be as invested in their stuff.
No, but I'm glad that I did that live stream, because now I know that I don't want to do it again.
And then now Liam knows to tell us not to do it as well. So that's thanks, bro. Thanks for taking the bullet roll.
Dude, that's literally that is literally like the nature of every single story that is told. Like there is the start of it, which is like it's the inciting incident. Well, you can say it. Oh, what's the intention? Like on what you want to do. And then the action, which is going into it, which is usually something that's more difficult. The more difficult it is, the more meaningful it is. But then you always come out at the end, which is the outcome. And when you come out of that, that's when you've learnt something, which is AKA in like the 3-act structure, it's the resolution. So every single thing that you do starts with the intention, and there's action. And in the action, that's where you learn it. And then in the outcome, that's when you can share, or like, that what you've learned. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I learned that I never want to fucking do that again.
We need to do 3 rapid fire questions for each of you. We'll go Hayden, Liam, Limon, then Mike with each question. So first one, morning and evening routine. What does it look like?
Morning routine, I'll wake up, have breakfast, go meditate, do some meditate for 20 minutes to half an hour. Then I'll do some social media engaging for half an hour. Then after that, usually I'll go and have like a half an hour workout. After that workout, usually I'll start a video, whether it be filming. Oh, actually, no. After that workout, I'll go and do a live. After that workout, this is morning.
Jesus Christ, how much do you do in the morning?
And then after that, I'll come and I'll do a live stream for like however long. I'd usually get like lost in it. But then I'll start doing my video. And then at the nighttime routine, I'll try and stop editing I won't go past 7 o'clock, because I want to give myself that time to have downtime, which is where I can like watch a movie or read a book or something.
That's really good.
Liam?
In the morning, I'll wake up, go downstairs, make myself a tea, usually bring it into this room, drink it, start editing whatever I've filmed recently, and then just continue on with my day. And then at night time, I like playing COD, but I don't play COD any later than like 12. Otherwise,
no, you don't.
What?
Go on. Tell us the real story.
Tell us the truth.
Play till 4 a.m. at one point?
Yeah, I've done that before, but it's not what I try and do.
You're like, isolation, I don't give a fuck.
It's literally said to me, you're like, I don't care. What's the point of sleep schedules right now?
Okay.
It gets cut.
All right, Limon?
It's mad.
Wake up, have some breakfast. Usually I eat and just like watch like some random YouTube video, and then afterwards, what do I do? I probably either stay on YouTube for a little bit longer, or I'll look over lecture notes if I have any, and then usually I'll have some lunch, and then afterwards usually I'll probably just like either listen to some music, like chill out for a bit. Go do a little bit more work.
Sorry, what is Liam doing?
Liam's really cut.
I'm raging.
Okay.
Raging.
I'm upset.
All right, go on, Limon.
Mike doesn't know how to shut the fuck up and let someone else speak.
You're just as angry as Mike when we said that he couldn't use that photo in the photo battle.
That's what you said to me though, Liam. You did you not say that you don't care about the sleep schedule?
Yes, but you can let people speak and not cut them off. It's okay to do that.
Yeah, Mike. It's like
far out.
Fucking hell, this is like
Come
herding
have a
cats.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, Limon, yeah, you keep going.
Yeah. What else? Okay, and then moving on to the afternoon. Usually I'll chill out for a bit. I might play some Minecraft, listen to some music, watch some YouTube videos. If I have any like other uni work I need to do, I'll do it as well. And then
It lags.
huh?
Oh man, it was like. Oh my
Mint. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then have some dinner, and then probably after dinner I'll just like that's when I'll probably like actually chill out more and like play Minecraft and watch YouTube videos. So it's basically my day. Like really nothing special whatsoever.
What about you, Mike?
Get up, like probably make myself a coffee. Most of the time, like at the moment, I've just been like playing a lot of Xbox. I've been playing a lot of Forza at the moment. And then I'll probably just edit whatever I need to edit. And then go see Xandria. That's about it. And then go back to bed. Or edit more or play Xbox. I don't really know. It's all over the place at the moment.
Liam,
Alright,
what's your favorite color? Is it black?
No comment. No comment.
All right. Last question for everyone. What's been the best purchase under $200 that we have bought? Wait, you could have bought at any time, but saying that's under $200 that you've been using continuously during this lockdown period.
Oh,
My GoPro.
books, bro.
GoPro Silver.
Books.
Books.
Books and books and books, bitch. That's it.
Books, GoPro, what do you got, Limon?
I haven't really bought anything, to be honest. I've just been at home.
Okay.
Groceries? They're useful.
What about you, Liam?
COD.
He's still
That's all I do
Damn.
apparently.
Yeah.
It's not what I said.
Yeah. Stop getting cut.
Liam's
Take
in
up-
anger. Liam's
take
in
Why are you
angry
up-
so
corner.
mad?
Stop being reactive and be proactive, Liam.
I'm choosing to be proactively reactive.
Yeah.
All right, boys, I need to go eat lunch. I've got I'm fucking starving. That's what I am. where
enough.
can
I'll be
we
honest.
where can we find you all on the interwebs?
Hayden
You can
Pedersen.
find me on COD.
At 4 a.m.
Only at 4 a.m.
Apparently not at 4 a.m. anymore. Sorry, that's my bad. That wasn't true.
No, you can literally, if you
Oh,
literally
Liam.
look up photography, you'll probably come up with Northborders, Hayden Pedersen, Liam,
Yeah.
Giuliani, and Seventh Era and Limon Fan.
So we've got Northborders,
Yeah.
as you'd expect, Limon Fan, Hayden Pedersen, and how's he got it now? Seventh Era. Always
Yes.
get that one mixed up. Liam's cut. Thank you, everyone. I'll speak to you later.
Dude, thanks for having me.
See ya.
See you
Thanks for
later.
having us.
Bro.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching Uncommon and this week's episode. If you like it, smash that like button. If you want to keep up to date with what we're doing, please do subscribe. We would love that. We'd love to build this audience that we're growing here of Uncommoners. If you want to keep up to date with audio, you can search for us on all of your good podcast apps. It's Uncommon or Uncommon Show will typically find us. For social, you want to see behind the scenes this amazing studio that I'm sitting in, just search at Uncommon_show and everything will be there, including our weekly promos. But look, thanks so much for stopping by. Until next time, thanks for watching.